We put an eye on you. Make it true.
Oh, with that being said, yeah, pre-show stuff. I got a nice little article here for our pre-show, and that is the first socially distanced indoor concert in the UK was held, and surprise, surprise, it was not very well.
Yeah, I didn't think anything that was going to be of a live event of this kind would be successful, and this just adds to the toppings. So,
Well, I mean, we're talking about socially distant, and in this particular case, this venue that they chose to play in had a capacity of 1,250 people. How many did they have in the attendance?
200 Scuba.
So, yeah, if you take current ticket prices and kind of calculate that out, that really kind of sucks.
Yeah, and not to mention, the venue cost, you got the artist a fee that needs to be deducted, so it wasn't that successful. Even though it's great to see some live music for a change. Who's in the background?
All right, in the background, Emperor, if you're just, or for anybody else who's just joining us, I've got Saladin sitting over here on my shoulder, and off next to Rye, we have Volgraza. Basically, what's happened is last night, meteorologists said there was a hurricane that passed through our area. Personally, I didn't notice. I was working till about 2 in the morning making maps. But unfortunately for my companions here, they lost power.
Oh no. To clarify, we only lost power after it started sunny with no wind, and then we lost power.
I lost power way early in the day.
So, what better way to spend an evening without power than to go hang out at Scuba's clubhouse, regardless of what he's doing, and hang out for the night?
Hey, we got pizza.
I have an excuse. I am supposed to be here. I'm loved.
Good food, good people.
I am all for fellowship and hanging out. I straight up.
Good food. Great people.
That's fine. That's fine. We got a lot of stuff to get ready for this weekend. So let's go ahead and kick into what we do.
What is it? What we do? What we do? What you do? We all do.
Well, it is Tuesday night, so it's Scuba and the Rye and friends. And tonight we're going to got a few things to go over, but first I got to do the basic stuff of welcome everybody and run through our announcements. I got a nice long list here of stuff. First up, as always, a big shout out and thank you to Syrinscape for the soundboards and background musics that we're hearing. Continuing to use the Scuba and the Rye sound set I created on Syrinscape.com. So go check that out to get great games for your great sounds for your tabletop experience. The online player is really nifty. Let's see. We have thanking the community, those who subscribe, those who follow, those who've watched our content and liked it and shared it. Please continue to do so. That kind of support will help us grow. So I cannot stress that enough. Thank you. If you're enjoying the content and this is your first time here, please consider following, subscribing. If you check us out on YouTube or audio, make sure you hit the like and the subscribe and give us a rating. Also want to again point out, as you can see in the little bar down here, we are part of Extra Life, trying to raise a modest goal. Do have various milestones that will come into play for the D&D game this Friday night. So hopefully we can end that stream with reaching our goal. I know it's crazy, but hey, it's for the kids.
Save, help, do everything for the kids. They are the future.
Now I know somebody. I saw this yesterday. I will not call him out, but he's here. And he's got some very interesting incentives. So I'm all about rising tide raises all ships. So if you want to throw in for various extra lives, I know someone who has put out the wild notion of a top donor would pick the color he dyes his beard or goatee.
No.
Yes.
Top donor actually gets the luxury.
Oh, yes. Waxing his head on stream. Dude, you are a braver man than I. You know who you are. I'm not going to call you out. Oh, you already called yourself out. See? I don't know nothing. But yeah, so I signed up with the D&D team, so it's part of that whole group to raise money for Extra Life to help kids recovering from diseases. It's such a great thing and such an important thing, and yeah, it's for a great cause. We do crazy things for great causes just to see what happens.
Yeah, good causes are a great thing. Always do support the great causes out there, people.
On top of that, we do have some updates to the merch store. I went through and updated all of the logo artwork on all of the merch, and in preparation for this weekend's D&D one shot, I have created a set of merch in celebration of that. So it is up and active if you want to check out the merch store. It's always cool and helpful, and we have to credit Mr. Volgraza, who's hiding out here, for all of that artwork that we used for these.
Thank you very much, and you are welcome.
Give credit where credit's due. I can't draw for nothing right now, so I found somebody who can draw better than me.
That's not hard. Everyone can draw. It's just, how well do you draw?
Can you draw a stick figure?
I can draw with words.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Touche, sir. Touche.
Yes, 1 point for the rye.
Oh, and we have a comment from Mr. Volgraza from Miss Mayflower. Volgraza, your art is freaking amazing.
Freaking amazing. Add the freaking.
I do want to point out there is a comment feature as well. Same thing applies to the question. If you put comment all caps before your comment, it will put it into our little notification so we can actually see it.
That's very handy for the future.
Yes, it is.
We just have not made a stream element or a bot command to let you all know it's something new that we're putting into the features now.
If you want to see the latest stuff I've worked on, you can check me out on Twitter at JimAllen1.
Get that typed in there.
Type that in there.
Make sure at the end of this we take a note so we can make a BAM command. So anytime it asks, hey, where does all that great art come from? We can just go.
Yeah, it's also on the Discord. If you want to know, you can see my tweets there as well.
Yes. Good segue to plug our Discord. We do have a growing Discord community.
Check it out.
Sit there and you can check it out if you're a subscriber. There's some additional perks. Right now I love that sound. I got the beeps. The beeps.
We got
the
beeps.
Sweeps. Got the beeps and the sweeps.
Beepy deepy deep.
Those beeps and sweeps. Huh. Saladin has subscribed. Thank you for the 2-month sub. All right. What was I? Yeah, he did that on purpose. I know that's what he did. He did it to just derail my train of thought. As I was saying, honor. Anyways, so like I was saying, we do have a Discord community we're trying to build and grow. Some perks if you're a subscriber here on Twitch and then go over to the Discord. One of those is the subscriber only chat is getting early access to all of the videos I post on YouTube before they go public. And we have a couple other things that we're gonna trying to get the finishing touches on to release to the wild. Again, will be subscriber only perks. So hey, trying to have fun. But I can say that if you're a tier 3 subscriber, if you really want to go that route, you do get some contributor level privilege to be able to have a say and submit things that we use for the show, the streams, all of that fun stuff.
Why, thank you.
Glad you're enjoying us. And that did pick up. Awesome. Thank you, Crystal. Alrighty. So, did I cover all my announcements? I covered all my announcements. So next up is the What's Up. What we've been up to. And I've been babbling on long enough, so I'm going to turn this over to Rye. Rye, tell us what you've been up to.
What I've been up to? Well, outside of having no power, I have just been working from home, doing my thing on the weekend. I did. Me and my girlfriend Angelica, we celebrate every once a month. We call it our monthsary, which is the second of every month because that's when we started dating. Was on the second of. So what we did on the second is we went down to one of the popular seafood places down in Virginia Beach called Catch 31. Had a good lunch there, and then walked the boardwalk and had a little bit more fun at the outlets. And then, other than that, playing a lot of Ghost of Tsushima and catching up on a few other cool TV shows that dropped over the weekend. Umbrella Academy season 2. So I'll have a quick tidbit on that later. Other than that, just moving into August.
Thank you.
What? Oh, thank
Some
you.
New follows. Appreciate
Awesome
that.
sauce. Awesome. But yeah, just August is the beginning of a new adventure with my next trek in school to get my master's. ODU delayed it by 2 weeks, but that just gives me 2 more weeks to play Ghost of Tsushima. So that's all I care about.
Well worth the time spent playing.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. For me, been getting ready for the 24-hour stream on Friday, which will go into a little bit more of that. I have some questions for you guys in the chat. Hopefully you can help me out. I trust in y'all. And getting ready for that. One of the things that was Sunday. A couple of my buddies came over, and our good buddy Professor Penumbra. If have checked out our earlier episodes, you know he was the guy who was all about comics.
Yes.
Well, he spent some time volunteering in one of the local comic shops, which I had a chance to go and visit recently. And they have a wonderful collection of D&D materials for 2nd edition and advanced. So I was quite interested in that. And we're talking about going on Sunday up to another comic shop to look at their vintage collection and maybe some old school Ravenloft stuff from 2nd edition that I might grab and use for season 2 of Challenge Accepted.
Where's this comic book shop?
It's in Hampton. Atlas. I'll find out more when I get there. But
Okay.
The reason I bring this up is he came over because I had found some comics hidden away somewhere in a dark corner of the house I hadn't seen for years, and I didn't know what was on them. So what did I do? I called a friend who knew about comic books.
Mm-hmm.
He came over and started picking through my comic books and kind of organizing them, getting them structured. I ordered some supplies so we could get them. And, you know, we found that there's potential jewels in my collection. One of them happens to be this comic. Right? Now, of course, this is a Daredevil number 270. The interesting thing about this one is this is actually the first published appearance of the character Blackheart, who in Marvel is the son of Mephisto. So this is actually kind of a rare comic. I still have to get it appraised for a final value, but just some preliminary stuff. One of these that's in really good condition goes for about 40 or 50 bucks. I have some others that, if they're in really good condition, which I know they're not, but I have some Todd McFarlane's and some other things in the collection, but this is going to be kind of an ongoing thing. But I figured it was really kind of cool to sit there and, you know, showcase something interesting I've been working on. I still have the other pile, which is all the trading cards for Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, World of Warcraft, and about a half a dozen other smaller ones, all kind of tucked in the other corner, but that's a project for another day. Also, one of my buddies brought over a bunch of his Warhammer 40K miniatures that have not been built. He brought them over. I was like, hey, it's taking me forever to build these, and you know, you're doing video content, building things. So why don't I bring these over to you and you build them on camera? Oh. I'll pull one of the boxes. I have a pile of boxes here. I kid you not. So I have things like these Tau miniatures going to start building and filming the builds on. So all kinds of fun stuff. Even some Age of Sigmar, Warhammer 40K. So I'm going to be busy after we get through this weekend. Maybe I'll even build one on stream on Friday. I don't know. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've got the maps going for the game on Friday. I've got most of the character stuff done. Still some tidbits because I can be a perfectionist. So yeah. All right.
Hey, as long as it's right, it's right.
Actually, I'm more or less worried about as long as everybody has fun.
And
I'm
it's
more
right.
concerned with
and
that.
Fun and excitement and yay. Whatever else.
Discord partner program. No, Shadowmanes, I am not familiar with that. You will have to learn me on that stuff later.
It's pretty lucrative. You should check it out, definitely.
Okay. See, that's why that's why I always take consultations from trusted individuals. Thank you, Shadowmanes. Look forward to reading up on that.
Awesome sauce. Thank you.
And with that, we're going to move into our reviews.
Reviews today.
Yeah. Alrighty, and for our review this week, we have a new film called Palm Springs.
Yes, Palm Springs. It is a film that is a Hulu original, so it is available on streaming to anybody that's subscribed to Hulu. Palm Springs is a comedy. I would consider it a comedy, a romance comedy, rom-com-ish, but more towards comedy. And basically, it follows two individuals, Niles, played by Andy Samberg, and Sarah, played by Kristen Maloney, and they have a chance encounter at a Palm Springs wedding that leads to unforeseen circumstances. So what happens is they get trapped in the same day of this wedding. So in this cycle of past, present, and future, they must find a way to either live together or find a way to get out of this forever day. So this is a plot device of time that has been used plenty of times, and most of the time whenever a film uses it, they call it the Groundhog Day effect, and that's because it's a reference to the film Groundhog Day, which a lot of people have seen. And whenever
if you haven't watched it, go watch it.
Yes,
that's all it's got to be said. Classic Bill Murray.
Yes, you got it.
Go watch that. It's hilarious. Just don't drive angry.
Oh yeah. So it is a very familiar plot device. You get trapped in a day and you just kind of live it over and over and over until something happens. This film is the epitome of what I would call it's all in the writing. So when you go to watch a film, it doesn't matter how you watch it, in theaters, in streaming, wherever, you're going to always notice a lot of the same rehashing of similar character types, certain archetypes, certain tropes, certain genres. One of them is this Groundhog Day effect. So you kind of have a familiarity of, okay, these two individuals are trapped in this day, antics ensue. What makes a film stand out within the familiarity is the writing. And what I can say is the strength of this film is the characterization of these two individuals and the writing of the dialogue. Because what it allows is for a rawness and a realism of the characters to push forward a layer of choices that makes you reflect on existentialism and just humanity as a whole. Because what happens in this film is that when these two get caught in the trap, there's a lot of frenetic situational humor and a lot of blunt dialogue, which can, if you like that or not, that you can give and take it away. But what is at the heart of the story is the relationship between these two individuals. And the acting is prime, and I would give props to both Andy Samberg and Kristen Maloney because they create characters that is endearing to anybody that is faced with the problems that anybody has when it comes to dealing with relationships, family, and other things of that dynamic. But they fuse it in with that Groundhog Day effect, so you're kind of reliving it over and over. So they have to face the facts of their own flaws and faults within certain decisions that they have made in the past, but has been trapped within the same day. So as the story continues, there's a more dramatic effect that starts to take place within this comedy of sorts, and it drives them to certain choices to either want to live this life together in this world or find a way to get out. And that's where the interesting twist to the formula happens, and it actually gives you a different way of how that Groundhog Day effect is told. So it adds a little bit of originality to a familiar trope. So once you get to the climax, everything comes to head, and then there's a fulfillment of closure that is both on a character level and on a plot level. So it's definitely a fun-filled journey within a familiar kind of setting.
Okay.
Take it away, Scuba. What you got? Questions, positive, negatives, what you want to know?
How is this I mean, hearing that, I've known nothing about this. I never even heard of it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
then again, I don't watch a lot of Hulu, so
Yeah.
I'm not even going to attempt to kind of improv my way through it because I know nothing about this film.
Yeah.
I know Andy Samberg has done some pretty low-key things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while since I've seen him do much.
Yeah.
And the other actress, I'm not recognizing her. What's some of the other stuff she's done?
Some of the other stuff that she has done. Give me a second. Just to mention, there is a side character played by J.K. Simmons, so he does add a little twist to what's going on in the film, but it's definitely fun. I don't want to spend too much time on him because
Yeah, we're not going to do spoilers. We
'cause
try to avoid spoilers unless it's a film that's been out for a decade.
All right, she's mostly a TV show actress. Some of the shows that she's been in is Modern Love, No Activity. She's voiced character in Venture Brothers. She's been on Black Mirror, Mindy Project. So she's has a wide variety of stuff. But a lot of the people in here are mostly TV actors and stuff. But as a film, it is one of the ones that was highlighted as one of the top streaming ones for July. So I thought, hey, let me check it out. And I was definitely delighted to see. It was refreshing to see how, no matter if it's original or not, the writing is what makes the journey worth your time. And the writing in this, like, just retelling how I started this review off is within stories old, a great retelling is all in the writing. And that's what this film epitomizes, is that you recognize the trope. The Groundhog Day effect has been used plenty of times in other films, but to a certain degree, they always use the same thing from the Bill Murray movie. What this film does is that it doesn't rely on that effect. It relies on the characters just trying to adjust to the situation. And it's done through comedy, through the relationship building, and through some, a reflective mirror of their own faults, of decisions that they made and have to live with it right now.
Alrighty. Well, if you have Hulu and access to Hulu, by all means, go check this out and feel free to comment back if you'd like. But before we get too much further, I have to ask the all-important question.
What is it, Scuba?
What's the rating?
The rating is, it's a great film. I think it would be worth seeing at the theaters at a full price of 4 out of 5.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. So with that, as I was about to say, before I remember that we hadn't got the rating yet, and that is, if you want to see more reviews, go to ryreviews.com, all one word. You can see his entire repertoire of reviews he's done, and he's always open to requests for rewinds or other things.
Oh, yeah. I definitely will have a little bit more time with that extra 2 weeks. So if there was a rewind you want me to check out, but I do have a good list of some interesting titles coming up.
Yes.
As Scuba's been privy to.
And with that, we're going to move on over to State of Game.
Shadow Main's funny.
Yeah, I think that was War of the Worlds. It was the last one that was kind of weird.
Science fiction war movie.
So if we haven't seen a bunch of those. Anyways, State of Game, where we talk about the various games we are playing and what we are affiliated with playing with in terms of video games, tabletop games, and other stuff just kind of in between. As usual, or we haven't done this well, but as usual, we're going to start with Rye and video games.
Awesome.
And I'm curious to see how he's progressing with Ghost of Tsushima and whether or not he's picked on any other games. Don't worry, Saladin. I see you looking over your shoulder. I have not forgotten you. I will get to you.
I'm not even doing that. I'm making sure my head wasn't like bobbing up and down while I'm doing that. Anyways, continue.
Awesome. All right. So, Ghost of Tsushima. So I have been progressing through Act 2. I have been leveling out the competition because I'm a really awesome samurai in the game. But what I enjoy most in this game, that I'm starting to enjoy a little bit more and more, is just traversing the world interacting with different characters, and just kind of engrossing yourself in the story. Because once you get to Act 2, the story starts to open up a little bit more. You get introduced to some newer characters, and then some side storylines that were from the first act is continuing into the second act. One thing that I do notice is that it doesn't. What I noticed in a lot of open world games is that once you move to another area, they try to ignore like the first area or second area you came through. It kind of forces you to go back, because not only are you progressing to take out the Mongol that has invaded this island, he has sent out bandits that go back to the original island to try to wreak havoc. So not only do you have to progress the story forward, you have to make sure you defend the first island from these bandits. So having to juggle all that stuff is definitely a fun, and I'm just having fun because just the fact that the action and the freneticism of being able to change between different fighting styles, and just understanding the enemy types. Because if you don't understand the enemy types, then you're just going to get ranched at. No matter if you're doing stealth missions, if you're helping just a random farmer, if you're trying to take out a former student who has taken the talents of the arrows and trained the Mongols, Shadowmane will know that one. And it's just the world. It's a living and breathing world. It's just a very fun and living, breathing world. It's not the hardest game in the world once you've learned the mechanics, but it's just fun. And it's the kind of feeling that I got with my Mount Rushmore of games. When I hit that pinnacle of fun, then it's going to make it in my top tier of favorite games. And this game is definitely working its way into that Mount Rushmore list.
Any other games you're playing with?
Well, I did kind of try to go back to Red Dead 2, and then this game came out, so I kind of ignored that. But other than that, there is a game that was put on Game Pass that I do want to check out called Crosscode. I think that's what it's called. It's like a 2D RPG game, and it's free through Game Pass, so I'm definitely going to probably check that out. And then I definitely might jump back into Phantasy Star Online too when the new update comes out. But right now, it's just Ghost of Tsushima and maybe that 2D RPG. The Switch is just whenever I feel like playing, because Torchlight 2 is just fun.
I hear Phantasy Star Online 2 is coming to Steam.
Yes, it is. And my two friends who played it are excited for that. But I'm going to stick with my Xbox, because it's definitely a fun game, and it's a fun time sink, but it doesn't take away too much time. So. But I haven't finished the game. I know somebody asked the question about that, so I haven't made any choices yet. So when I do get to that point, I will let you know.
I know the choice he's talking about. That'll be pretty sweet. Alrighty, well, since we have guests and voices and all of that, I will offer them a chance to comment on what they've been playing. And as the subtle, not so subtle thing over my shoulder is indicating, we're going to have Volgraza chime in and talk us through some of those wonderful adventures in Space Engineers he's been up to, because if he's not making art on his Twitch channel, he's playing Space Engineers. So, Graza, lay it on me, man. What's he up to?
Thank you, Scuba. Actually, yeah, I've been playing a lot of Space Engineers. We've been doing a PvP server. It's called Stone Industries, so if you play the game and you go to the Stone Industries PvP server, I'm playing on it. Come say hi. It's a lot of fun. They're doing it in survival with play modded version because of the base game. I'm so used to it, it's not really a challenge. So having modded Space Engineers is a lot more fun. I'm currently working on our mobile construction base called the H++. And the funny story about how the name came about, I was making a landing pad and just out of like pluses and stuff, and then the last plus was not big enough, or well, too big. There was too much area, so I just put another line and then like two parallel lines and one through it that looked like an H, and then the ones on the right were plus plus. So I was like, oh, I'll just call this the H++. And we have been having a lot of fun making ships. We did a little PvP combat, and my friend Jack Churchill, his ship got completely wrecked, and we did a salvage mission to go catch it, floating off into the abyss with him still on it, and that was quite the excitement. We learned a lot from that combat experience with the current meta inside the server. So
That sounds like it.
yeah, good friends, good time. If you want to check it out, Jack_underscore Churchill VR, I believe is his Twitch handle. We stream on Sundays and Mondays in the evening about 7 o'clock CST or 8 o'clock? 7 o'clock CST or 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So come hang out. It's fun. We have lots of fun. That's pretty much about it. That's all I've been doing. Aside from with that, Sal, do you got anything?
Yeah, Sal, you got something you've been sitting there just gnawing at the bit to tell us all about.
Well, to let everybody know, there's a game that I've been playing that's been in alpha for 3 years now. It's under a very strict NDA. Yeah, very strict, as in no photos, no anything from in-game, unless it was released by them. Now, this game is an MMO, and I'm purposely not telling you the game until I get through with it. So, it is a MMO, one shard, meaning thousands upon thousands of players, all in the same area, and it works, because they've done a lot of testing with it, and Volgraza over there has played it with me. So, it is a similar game to Eve, similar background. They took the good parts of Eve, which are really the good parts, and that's the only part good about it. But with that game, you're actually building based on voxels. You have voxel destruction. You have very innate ships that you can build in this game. And coming August 27th, it goes into beta, which means NDA is lifted. Meaning, I will be streaming a lot of that. But the other part is, they're actually releasing it to a lot of players as well.
No, it is not EVE Online 2.
No,
it is
called Dual Universe. There is quite a few people that do not like the game, but what they're seeing from the videos and YouTube videos that are out there are pre-alpha. So they stopped actually putting out a lot of the content to YouTube for the simple fact of they did not want the alpha to give a bad taste in people's mouth, because yes, there's a lot of bugs. That's what alpha is for. I can attest there's a lot of bugs, but they have worked on them so much that it is becoming a really fun game.
we're gonna have to wait so we can check out that beta access, but this is what this guy spends a lot of his time doing when he's not coding things, is he's checking this game out. It seems really cool. He's done a lot of cool things with it. But yeah, I've seen bits and pieces. I've attempted to log in. Didn't quite work out so well, but that's okay.
Someone has a lot on their hands anyway.
It's okay.
Yeah, you know what? I think I might just get Horizon now, just for giggles.
You can't get it until I get it, okay?
You still have the Star Wars game that you gotta play.
Yeah, you're right. I do. And, I've got this thing I'm doing on Friday where I'm going to be going online at 10 a.m. Friday till 10 a.m. Saturday. And when I'm not playing D&D, I'm going to be able to play video games. And I've just found out that there's this game called Horizon Zero Dawn. Small little game. I'm sure some of you have heard of it. It gets released for PC on Friday.
Dun dun dun.
So I was thinking about playing it because I thought it would be really cool. A little indie game. Yep, just a little one.
No, nothing back here, no.
But yeah. So I got this going on too. This wonderful thing, which I'm just on the fly making sure I add it. I got that going on Friday.
There you go. Boom.
So that is the official promo art for the Twilight's Last Gleaming D&D one-shot. That stuff going on. Thank you. Thank you.
For the sub.
Yes, it was. Thank you, Jello Jelly. Thank you for the sub. But yeah, this is happening now. I know I said there was another name on here, but unfortunately, schedule conflicts. He had to back out. But I still have these 4 wonderful individuals to play a D&D game with on Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern. This is going to be a start to finish one shot for a module that was published in 1991 that I've been updating to 5th edition, and we will see how they go. But if you have questions, we can do questions. I'll do some of them, but I can't go about everything. Gotta have some secrets because, you know, players are around. But
Questions have answers.
questions always get answers. They just don't always get answers when you want them to have answers.
It is a clearness of the vagueness of the randomness of that is true.
I'm just saying. But with that, I can also sit there and say that we had our season finale. I'll just leave this up for right now. We had our season finale of Challenge Accepted last Saturday. That was interesting. I'd say it was definitely wasn't what I initially had planned, but again, players will be players. But we left off with they had finished securing the Sea Ghost and taking it into port in Saltmarsh, and we will pick back up with them when we come back. Going to take a couple of weeks off to prepare for the next season, which will be a run in Barovia to find something or someone. Still working out the details on that. See, when he turns around and looks at me, I feel like I gotta look at something else. Nope, okay, I'm good. Alrighty.
He's just there with eyes. That's all.
I'm staring at it on the laptop, so I keep looking at yours.
Peering onto the screen is the eyes of Saladin.
But I figured I'd take a little time to do a reflection on that first season, what I learned going into next season.
What did you learn?
Really? Really? This is what I get for the fact I sit there and say, "Hey, if you're a friend, door open to friend." So, season 1, or this whole first D&D live stream experiment. I have to say it was, oh my gosh, I had no idea I had some idea what I was getting into, I'll be honest, but I had no idea how much I was getting into it. And just the rapid troubleshooting was great. Maybe chilly, I don't know. But I've known most of these guys I've known for years. Graza's a new friend, but we hit it off really well. But as for the rest of them, it's been 10 years I've known them, so maybe I've got something wrong with me. I don't know. Especially that guy.
We had fun times at the station. That's all I'm gonna say.
But yeah, it's this running a live D&D game, for the fact I've been doing a lot of dungeon mastering and studying dungeon mastering, has been a huge learning curve, trying to balance and juggle the production as well as the story, and learning that I had really ambitious goals for the story and I didn't get anywhere near them because part of that was the collection of players of people I've never played with before until we all got on stream and started rolling die. Yeah, the first 5 minutes is an ouch, which is up on YouTube right now. You could watch the entire first season of Challenge Accepted.
Check it out, people.
On YouTube right now. We have a playlist for it. You can go check it out at Scuba Studio on YouTube. I believe we also have a link for that in the BAM commands. If someone be so kind. But it's and taking what I learned from that gave me the confidence to try this crazy thing we're doing on Friday. And seeing how that goes, and then just do another season. The next season we're going to be a little more targeted on a specific objective that has a start and end for the season. I want to try and do these games as we have an objective and we do a season based on an objective. So as I alluded to, there are some conversations with people who want to sit there and play and try to see what objective they want to try and achieve. And that'll be the season we run. Very much in association with a kind of West Marches style, which is something I want to get into to have a broader range of options. But a continuous story isn't bad too, and we'll see how that goes. I know I talked about wanting to do Rime of the Frost Maiden, but we'll see how that schedules out. Oh, Saladin was crying. That's so sweet.
Cry, cry, cry. Just beat him down to cry. I mean, cry.
Oh, raising more money. Thank you for those donations for the kids. That's always helpful. Got that first goal as Bardic Inspiration for the party on Friday. I still have to work out the other goals. So yeah, lessons learned is a little bit more. I think toward the latter end we finally hit our stride. When in terms of the tech was working right, and now I could focus on the players. I felt I spent a lot of time focusing on the tech, trying to get the tech squared away, that I might have sacrificed a little bit of attention to the players. But on the other hand, as we got closer to the end of it, the players really started to come together. So I feel kind of bad for cutting the season, but on the same token, I needed a break and to shift gears because I had people waiting in the wings who also wanted to play, and I wanted to have this kind of rotating thing of content. No, Mayflower, we're not going to tell you. You have to go watch. Spoiler.
They all die. Just kidding.
Spoiler. That's not true. Or is it?
Or is it? Ooh.
I don't know why everyone goes negative, Shad. I really don't.
Well, spoiler. He is the father, so.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And of course, we have our obligatory Star Wars reference. I think we're hitting all the checkboxes today.
Cha-ching! State the obvious, Captain Rye.
Sand. Always has been.
What's happening? I think we're just going to start, just kind of having fun. Because if we have fun, you have fun, and you'll come back and continue to watch. So yeah, I got this 24-hour stream, and some suggestions would be cool for things to do. I think one of the things on my list is I'm going to do game prep. I've got a couple of games that aren't streamed that I need to prep up some stuff for, so I might do some game prep, play some video games, and get into getting ready for that charity one shot.
Boom.
Which I have no idea how long it's going to last. It could be 4 hours, could be 6 hours, could be 8 hours. So it's going to be interesting.
What about beard gravy?
No.
Oh.
I'm actually looking forward to when my stylist can start doing beard so I can get a proper trim. Not that I don't mind trying to go for the wizard goal.
We have a friend that kind of has already beat everybody to the punch for that one.
What?
Mr.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Santa Claus.
He's here to deliver something. Deliver winning packages and winning games. Every sports game out there. Everyone. These guys know.
Shad, I do not kill the whole party in 20 minutes.
It took them 30. Or...
No. I never try to kill the party. The party does it to themselves. I swear. I mean, it is true. I actually never set out to kill the party. It's just I try to play the bad guys as the bad guys, and what makes sense to me, if they're not going to stop attacking, they're not going to stop attacking.
But like they say, Scuba's not going to throw away his shot. Not going to throw away his shot.
Well, it depends on the group. Like, one of the things for this, thank you for helping me get some thought going. Twilight's Last Gleaming, this one shot is for level 8 characters, and it is up front that this is going to be very tactical and very thought process. As a lot of them know, it's like, I'm looking for those loopholes. I'm looking for those opportunities, and I will try to exploit them. Now, I am not, will not, have not been stacking the monsters and the encounters to their particular strengths and weaknesses. That's not fair.
No, it's not.
So don't look at me like that. Or Nerdin is going to have a wonderful time in that first level of the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, which we will plan on the stream. Yes, we will. We'll talk about it. We'll see what we come up with. We'll make encounters in the encounter creator. We'll discuss loots.
I need to check out the store.
As long as I get my meat, I'm good. There you go.
Clear
This is going to be a
goals.
completely new Scuba studio. I hope so.
Hey, no. Drink it away. Drink it away.
Alrighty. So, I got that.
See, I'm glad somebody saw what I was doing there. Thank you, May. May, you just don't understand. I have that soundtrack on blast constantly.
That's actually not a bad song in Hamilton. I really liked it.
I was actually going to start singing that, but I kind of let it go because Scuba's on a roll.
Wow.
Hopefully you're not helpless.
Did I hear that? I've got earbuds in my ear, so I can't hear him that well, but did he just say he was going to let it, he was referencing one Disney production and tagging a second Disney production in the pun?
I was referencing my review from a few weeks ago. Check it out.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah. So no copyright there when it's my opinion. Ooh.
No. The copyright is if they're the DMCA is if we start trying to sing that song without having permission to sing the song.
Correct. He is. You can sing one sentence of a song without getting it. But if you sing one word over that, that's when it's taken.
Well, you know, he doesn't want to let it go in a whole new world.
Right? Right.
Go get your own movie. Go get your own movie.
On Scuba.
Wow.
Oh, boy. Next.
All these topics got me tangled.
Jeez.
But if I'm losing control, are we having fun at least? Does it seem like we're having fun?
Never.
What?
It's definitely fun. You know.
I'm entertained. I don't know about you guys.
Hey, entertaining is great because that means people are going to stick around with us.
Because everything we say, it is a wonderful phrase. So
Oh.
Yes, you have come to the right place, and you come at the right time.
Yes.
You have me.
Okay, so would anybody like to know what kind of stuff I'm going to give away during the one shot? Because I have giveaways. I have sponsors.
what are we giving away?
What are we giving away? Well, thanks to the wonderful people at Syrinscape, I've got codes for subscriptions to Syrinscape that I will be giving away during the stream. On top of that, I got some codes for digital products from D&D Beyond.
Oh snap!
Yep, one of them is going to be a code for a digital version of the Player's Handbook. But the really cool one is it's going to be a code for a pre-order copy of Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden, which is set to release later this year. So if you tune in and check out this one shot when we do that giveaway, you have a chance to win the book, so that as soon as it's released, you get it. And since it's a pre-order, it's gonna be fun. So I think that was really awesome that they gave me those codes. Oh, see, I can't.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't talk about that. But that is a good thing to know. There's other reasons I can't talk about it. It is. It's supposed to be a survival, like isolation, winter survival.
Ooh.
Ironically, coincidentally, this adventure we're doing on Friday is set in an Arctic region in the mountains.
Yes.
So
I remember getting the memo for like, can you make it colder looking?
yes. See, this is more of Volgraza's art. He did that reprint of the guy from the original module and colorized it, so we have this winter icy Arctic theme.
This shadowy figure sneaking up and obviously about to roll a lot of damage on sneak attack.
Maybe.
Or it's
Maybe
his
not.
shadow and it's his murderous intent. We don't know.
Whatever, Saladin.
we're just not taking him seriously. We never do. But we appreciate him.
Googly eyes.
Hey, I think it's going to be fun. I mean, these guys have heard of me talk about what's going on in this module. And some of the maps look really awesome. So, I don't know. Nah, I won't do that. I'll do it later. All right, let's move on to fun and sun and odds and ends. And maybe at the end of the show, if people are wanting to know, I might tease what some of the maps look like. Because I do have some of them finished that I'm working on. If you all want to know.
Donate $10 to see more of the maps.
Come peer into the future.
Which we've already see in the little extra life thing, we are actually starting to see a little blue, which means we are getting donations. Woohoo!
Hooray!
Blue is cool.
Yes, blue is very cool.
Let's do it, people.
Odds and ends.
Oddies and indies.
Odds and ends, the part of the show where we talk about the various internet stories that we find that are just kind of out there, and we comment and give our opinions on. These are our opinions. Do not be confused to anybody else. Show us the maps, please. All right, Crystal, hang out with us till the end. Let's get through this last part, and I will show you some maps. All right. Oh, what was I doing? Oh yeah, odds and ends. Our first odds and ends story.
What shall we do?
We're going to start with AMC Universal recently announced that they have come to an agreement. Now, a few weeks ago, we talked about how these two parties were having a bit of a disagreement.
Heavyweight fight of some degree.
Ding, ding. Here we go. All right. Universal previously stated that they were going to be utilizing Premiere Video on Demand for more of their movie releases. AMC retaliated with, well, fine, we're not going to show any of your products in any of our theaters. In the middle of a pandemic where the movie theaters are closed, this sounded like a really smart move.
It's definitely smart indeed. Sarcasm aside.
That being said, it was recently reported that these two had come to a compromise and had signed an agreement to where Universal agreed that they will show their movies in theaters for 17 days minimum before moving on to Premiere Video on Demand. AMC, which feels that it's shown that most of the movie theaters will make most of their money on movies within that 17-day window. After that, movies kind of drop off as far as making money. So whatever you make in those first 17 days, that is a make or break as far as what's determined a successful film. Whenever we look at what are box office successes, what are box office flops, and everything in between. And not only do they get that, but it also appears that AMC is going to get a cut out of those premiere video on demand revenues as well. So I'm like, wait, what? Rye, tell me more.
Well, this is actually something we've been talking about, which is like our ongoing evolution conversations of what we think is going to happen in the movie industry because of what COVID's done. It's killed the theater scene for a time being, and we're thinking, how are these two juggernauts, the studios and the theater chain, going to work together to try to get through this and work in a way where it benefits both? This is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to streaming at home and going to the theaters. So what this does is it allows for Universal to have the flexibility to move to VOD at a certain time, but it doesn't mean that they will. Because most the money that studios make on film is in the theaters, based on the figures we've seen over the last 10 years, $1 billion club and all that good stuff. Theaters help generate the money for the studios. What this does is that it is an evolution of the landscape of how people want to view. So there is a matter of choice. So once you hit that 17 window, Universal will have the option to move it to VOD, but at the same time, the theaters will still have a slice of the pie. So it's a handshake. You can do this as long as I get a little bit. But when you have movies like the big juggernauts like Fast and Furious 9, the next Minions movie, more than likely they're not going to go straight to VOD that third weekend per se, because they kind of make a lot of money. So it does, but what it does give the flexibility, and it gives the flexibility in a very shorter window than what it used to be and what it is currently. It might be changing in the coming.
Yeah, well, I think part of that's going to be whether or not we're still going to have these issues with most of these theaters being closed.
Yeah.
To whether or not you could get the big box office draw.
Yeah. I think this is just, like I said, the tip of the iceberg. What is going to happen after the post-pandemic is going to see if these kind of deals are just going to keep increasing, because if there's a little slice of the pie for the theater chain in VOD, then there's going to be a lot more of these deals signed down the road. And this is just one of the two major articles that are leaning toward that blend of theater and streaming. Because there was another one that came out just today about this.
Well, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah, tease you in the post, people.
But we're going to deliver on what we tease.
Oh yes.
So, our next story is an interesting little tidbit out of Israel.
Oh yeah, this one's a good one.
Now, the Israel Aerospace Industries, the IAI, has been developing a new armored personnel carrier or armored vehicle for urban combat based on the American M113 armored personnel carrier. Why this is interesting is because the tech and the geek that is going into this platform is really kind of fascinating. Number one, it's got the controller within the vehicle is a Xbox controller as opposed to a fixed in place control wheels. It's showing that a lot of these that they've looking at what modern audiences are, or what the youth are doing as they're getting to that age to where they can go into the military. Sorry, I had to go up and down.
Bob and weave, Scuba, bob and weave.
But what they're doing is they're looking at, okay, what's easy, what are the youth coming into the military or growing up sitting there able to do? And as such, they wanted to incorporate some of that to where it's easier to kind of pick up the controls. Technology is advanced, obviously. But another interesting tidbit on this is this has an AI program built in it. And the AI was trained by having it play StarCraft.
Oh, yes. It's definitely an interesting thing. And from this article, from the Washington Post, quote, the company cited StarCraft 2 as an ideal AI trainer due to its constantly changing real-time competitive situations, the long duration of matches, incomplete information for players, and a vast playing space that has hundreds of variables. End quote. So it definitely it heightens the influences that the modern technologies has within a different area of the world, but also highlights how video games have impacted the way that society is moving into the future, especially with the military and training.
Well, it's the with that, it's also we're looking. I don't know if you mentioned it, but the algorithm that this armored vehicle is using for its AI is built off the Unity software engine.
Yes.
Now, if anyone's unfamiliar with that, let me give you an example of something you might have played. How about a little game called Hearthstone? That game is built on the same engine that is powering this new piece of technology, this new piece of equipment for the Israelis, and they wrote bots to assist with traversing. You know, the big reason they had the AI learning this was that it could get from point A to point B as safely as possible. So they would run it through StarCraft 2, just grind StarCraft 2, and they would have it grind another game called Doom. So where it could learn how to traverse from point A to point B in a variety of methods. They wrote assistance applications, or as what a lot of us are going to call bots, to assist in doing that. And they found that after a short period of time that they were about 30% faster than the average human player when it comes to trying to traverse the environments.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting thing because what it's showcasing is that the evolution of the sporadicism for this AI is that the decision making is very quick and pinpoint, and by using technology like games like StarCraft, and also mixed in with few other games like Doom, it teaches AI different strategies for navigation, target detection, weapon selection, and other autonomous capabilities. So when you put it in the environment, like a lot of people have played these kind of games, the freneticism of these games, you have to be quick, smart, and precise. So it's definitely an eye-opening thing, but it also is showcasing how in-depth AI can be if given certain situations when development.
Oh, we'll just call it. Shadowmains is calling it in the chat. You called it in the pre-show. Let's call it what we think it is. Everybody, 1, 2, 3.
Skynet. Yes, exactly, Volgraza.
This was initially an article that was on the published in the Washington Post. Check it out. There's a Kotaku opinion piece on it too, talking about how this is a horrible, horrible thing to consider. Which, yes, there are some moral conversations, which we're not going to get into.
That's another topic for another day. But I would definitely.
Yeah, that's a conversation for another time and place. We're not really going to get into that, but in terms of what we like and the fact that we talk about all things geek, the fact that our technology and our applications have gotten to the point that we can use game engine technology to program a vehicle AI. Now, previously we mentioned that you're starting to see game engine technology utilized in the film industry. Most notably, the film The Lion King, the completely animated version, live animation that Jon Favreau did, and The Mandalorian, all both utilized game engine technology to render the backgrounds and scenery that for the live action members of the cast to interact with, so they could get a more accurate and a faster response time in production.
Yeah, what it definitely highlights is that by using the video game industry for a lot of real-time application, is showing that there's a mixture of artistry, creativity, and smarts all in the one. Because when you're developing video games, not only does the gaming mechanics that go into it, it's that ideal and the worlds that help infuse in that. So we're seeing a blending of sorts. So creativity coming into real-time dynamics, which I think is a great thing because it's creating a variety, but also kind of scary, especially when you're learning that the AI is getting smarter than us. And we all have seen those movies.
Yeah, well, I think now we need to come up with a new agricultural AI based on the Farm Simulator or Animal Crossing to kind of offset this.
Yeah,
They already do have automated farming vehicles. They already have bought their drone that will go over your farmland and fertilize it, go back to the farm, refill, and go back out and keep doing this.
Oh, I don't doubt that, but here's why I'm saying it. See, we trained a tank by having it play Doom.
Yes.
Can we train a tractor with Animal Crossing?
I don't doubt it.
It's possible. It's possible.
I mean, there's a couple.
I'm trying to think of a way to balance the scale here, guys.
Yeah,
We trained a tank by having it play Doom.
Yeah.
Can we train something else with, something a little less?
Anybody that's played Doom knows. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's all I'm gonna say. Just yes.
I mean,
Is it the game? That's the game with the BFG, right? Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yes. We're
There's
all.
a lot of games with that.
Yeah, but specifically the BFG, we're all doomed. So.
oh, you mean the monster big can, right?
Oh yeah. But just.
Oh, that's the BFC, not the
I don't-
BFG.
But
Yeah.
it's still kind of. It's still kind of. I will. Yes, Shadowmane. But-
Doom did originate it. I will give it that. Alrighty, well, I think
all-
we're done talking about the impending Doom.
But I would end it on a high note. You're still controlling it with the Xbox controller, so that's still kind of
Yes.
yeah. Pew pew. We're all
I mean,
doomed.
They're just trying to go with what the crowd is doing. The kids and the people going into the military now, they all have Xboxes or know how to use a controller.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that goes into what the Kotaku piece was talking about, the fact that you give somebody in modern times an Xbox controller and know where all the buttons are.
Yes.
And that's essentially that's what they were going for. It's like, I have this controller, I know where all the buttons are, I have a good feel for it, and it's just used to control a different device.
Yep. And anyone sitting here and in the chat knows once you learn the controls in the game, it is muscle memory the rest of the way. Ghost of Tsushima.
Alrighty, speaking of the kids, let's talk about something that's a little more kid-oriented.
Maybe. Yes. Woo!
How about a new TV show, animated cartoon that's coming to Netflix about Jurassic Park and a bunch of kids going to Jurassic Park as a summer camp?
What could
Yes.
go wrong?
I don't know. What could go wrong? Kids with dinosaurs?
Apparently, the premise of this is these kids come to Camp Cretaceous and find out that all the safety systems are offline.
Oh,
what?
yeah.
That's a big oof.
Oh yeah, but it is a new animated series coming to Netflix called Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, and it is expanding on the world a little bit, but through a kid-friendly way. It's definitely interesting, creative to an extent, but it's rehashing a lot of the same things that we've seen in the previous 5 films. So.
It is, but one of the things they're looking at is hopefully this will be a way to hold fans over, our younger audiences over, until the next Jurassic World movie, which just resumed filming. Blech, words and things.
Yeah.
Just resumed filming in London recently.
Oh yeah.
But on top of that, it was. This is the argument that's in the article. Is Jurassic Park has always featured children, but there have been always some very capable adults nearby to help to take the focus off the kids. In this series, we're going to be focusing all on the kids. There do not appear to be any adults whatsoever. What could go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong with no adult supervision on an island full of dinosaurs? I don't know.
Kid-friendly bloodbath. I don't know.
But we'll find out. It is released on Netflix September 18th. So get ready to binge, people.
But I guess CGE is a little easier to take in for the more mature content that is typically associated with Jurassic Park movies.
Oh yeah. So, animated deaths versus real life deaths.
I mean,
50-50.
It kind of got a little dark, but are we talking dark in the chat? Oh yeah, when I fly drones in the army. Oh yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that's just, I don't even know what to say about that.
Yeah, I don't know. With all the shows I'm already watching and being in the beginning of my master's program at that time, that probably won't be a show I check out. Or it might. Who knows?
Who knows?
You know.
So, Ra, you said you had something you wanted to share with us. Share it.
Share what?
That thing about that movie and that place.
Oh, speaking of movies and speaking of things, just to add credence to the whole streaming theater hefty thing, there was a movie that was supposed to come out earlier this year by Disney, live action retelling of Mulan. I was looking forward to it. I think you were looking forward to it, Scuba. It did look like it was going to be great. Still don't know. But the interesting thing is that Disney is actually releasing this simultaneously in theaters internationally, but also on Disney Plus at the same time, but with a hefty price. What is the
really?
price, Scuba?
I don't know. I don't think you sent me the price. This is all you, man.
Oh, okay. I wanted to bring you in. I didn't want to just take over the world.
No, you do that. I got to go line up some pictures because I promised pictures.
Okay. Well, anyways.
So distract while I do this thing in the background.
And all of you that have been looking forward to Milan, including me, we will be able to see it this year. We will be able to see it on Disney Plus in the United States and Canada, but it will be at a premium tier in Disney Plus for $30. So while the international market will be able to see it at the theaters, not knowing the prices around the world, we will be able to see it streaming at home for a hefty price. But the reason I bring up this article to go coincide with the other one is that it does bring in the factor of choice. And this is just another wrinkle in entertainment industry with film, knowing that with the changing of the tides and already the streaming world growing bigger and bigger by the second with the inclusion of Peacock and probably future ones down the road, these studios are finding different ways to introduce avenues of choice with seeing films. And this is a good one. So case in point, say a theater ticket is $10. You take a family of 4 to go see this movie at the theater. You have the choice of seeing it per person $10 at the theater or paying the premium tier of $30 to watch it on a streaming service at home. So depending on if you're riding solo like me most of the time to the theaters, or a +1, or watching in a theater, watching at home with your family, it does give you the application of choice. So I think this is actually a good way of going towards that avenue of choice. But even so, the Disney CEO Bob Chapek cautioned that this is, quote, POV release of Mulan is an anomaly and not a signal for future theater bypassing, reiterating that it is a one-off. But if you're reading the tea leaves, you know Disney is testing the waters to see how this will work. And maybe down the road when Disney Plus expands, they'll have that premium tier for other things down the road. So I think it's actually a good thing. It does give families and groups an option to, either choose to see it in the theater or at home. In this case, it's not going to be in theaters for the North American audience, but watching it comfortably at home on your TV on your couch, I think that'd be fine. What do you say, Scuba?
I say I'm gonna wait on watching it personally, but if other people want to check it out, by all means, go check it out.
Oh yeah. What about it opening up the window of that streaming and theater simultaneously?
I think was going to be a natural evolution of these things. It was. I mean, think about it. If we talk about all the people who pirate films that go out on theater so that they could watch it in a downloaded version at their home, we're already seeing that once you hit a theater release, there is a segment of the population that is watching it at home already. So just grabbing that a little bit more and expanding to the premium video on demand, or just expanding video on demand. Also, have you seen the latest tech in TVs these days? I mean, aside from the feel of the theater seat, the smell of the popcorn, the feel of the sticky soda on your feet as you walk through a certain theater, that's not going to get changed so much.
Well, you have a point to say with this. If they're releasing it from, not personal, we'll just say hypothetically, that for releasing it to the streaming services, it's actually harder for people to get that content than it is for people to get it from the theater. Because there are things in the back end that you cannot record and that kind of stuff. So, in my point of view, I would say just put it on the streaming stuff. But that's just me. I hate going to theaters anyway.
Oh yeah, there's a biasness I heard in there, but
Just a little bit.
I think what this is that this on top of the AMC Universal deal, it's changing the landscape of how people are going to view films, and it is something that I have been saying for more than just this year, but that what's going to happen and what's already happening is that the theaters are dominated by the big blockbusters, which is pretty obvious. You want to go and get that Avengers experience, that Inception experience, the Dark Knight experience at the theater because you want to see it with your group of friends or the people. Laughter, cries, tears, sorrows, happiness. What happens is, what's been happening recently is that being dominated by the blockbusters, a lot of these mid-tier, smaller films, I'll use an example that of the few films I've watched, King of Staten Island, The Outpost, Relic, they can't get their foot in the door in the theaters, so they have to find another way to make their money. So with this option starting to move into a blending mode, you're going to start to see that option for films either in theaters and streaming at the same time. I think that's what's going to happen in the next year. Next year, I'm calling it.
Okay. You're gonna call it?
Yeah,
Call
next
it that?
year.
Okay.
So you're going to see smaller films like a Judd Apatow comedy having the choices, and then a blockbuster like Avengers 5 dominating the world. So,
Alrighty. Well, thank you, Rye. I appreciate that. And
Awesome.
it's always good to hear about new things with movies, but let's
what
go
we
ahead.
got, Scuba? What we got populating?
I've got some things I will tease and show you guys because you've been so patient and so trusting. Let me give you what you've been asking for. Let's go with one of the maps for this Friday's game. This is the mansion and grounds that we will be seeing in the game. It's being created using the Incarnate website, which is a great program for making maps. Had some help with this, so I'm gonna shout out to Shad. He helped me with some of the basics on this, and I came back in and did a little tweaking. The website is called Incarnate. Let me find it.
He got it. Thank you, Shad.
Thanks, Shad. You are the man.
We have some people in here to help you.
Yes.
We got you, Scuba.
It's nice. Building a team has probably been the highlight of the past year doing this.
Keeping that buoy boat afloat.
Yep. Keeping it between the navigational beacons.
Yeah.
Now I got to listen to that song.
Yeah.
I'll play it afterwards.
You gotta navigate. You have me on the boat.
So this mansion looks good. Do we want to see what's inside?
Please?
Can we go in? Are we
Can
allowed
we
to
go?
go in?
Oh, we might be able to go in. Let's go to the first
Let's
floor.
Do it again.
Let's check
Let's
it out.
walk in the house. Let's see it again.
So looking in here, we have a library. We have several rooms. We have carpet. We have tile. We have a huge eating space. Pretty prominent kitchen. And a garden with lots and lots of trees and greenery. It looks really, really pretty.
Are monsters hiding in there?
Say again?
Are the monsters hiding in there?
No, they're tending the trees.
Seriously, you're going to ask me that question? What's that timer say? Where's that timer? There's a
timer.
What's that timer we're on? Oh yeah, 24-hour charity stream is in 2 days, 11 hours. And we start the charity stream. So add a little bit of time on that. It's like, really? You're going to ask me that now? Yeah, some people. You like that? I've got the second floor too. You want to go upstairs and see what's on the second floor?
I don't think anybody talking in chat. I don't think they want to see that second floor.
I don't know.
I don't think they do.
Quick shout out, guys. Do you want to see the second floor? Yes, big shout out to Shad for some of the rough work on the maps. Could not have been able
Now
to
we're
mess
getting
with
the
it.
Yeses in there. I think they're
There's
just
some
trying to
yeses
catch it up.
coming in.
There's some yeses? All right.
Yeah.
You asked. See? Second floor. All our rooms.
Okay, that's all we get to see. Sure, I'll do it.
I can make that a little bit bigger. You're right here, so you guys see this one took me a while. This is why I sat there and said we had this hurricane thing last night. I couldn't tell you.
My power's still out, according to the website.
Oh boy.
Oof. I should tell you to put in my address.
So what do you think of that as far as that level of detail? All of those chairs and beds and tables.
Look at that colorful map.
Oh yeah. A lot of resources in there. Had to, make sure we could get all the various rooms.
Did you have another map for them to see?
Are you?
No.
No.
No, I don't.
You don't have another one for them to see?
No. You know why? You want to know why?
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 Spoilers.
Exactly.
You can't see it
Spoiler.
until you see it.
Forbidden. We don't
You
want
cannot.
players trying to come back and looking at the screen so they know exactly where to go.
Well, that's why I'm going to be incorporating them into Roll20 and using that for the tactical maps.
Ooh.
Dun 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 dun.
All right, now we have our collection of evildoers. But yeah, definitely come and check that out with us this weekend. Starting Friday, going to be doing the whole that thing.
That thing.
We got our
going.
chat. We got our links for where you can find us and talk to us, reach out to us, follow us, all that fun stuff.
You can find us everywhere and everything. Click the links.
And of
Like,
course,
friend, everything in between.
yes, very much so. If you're not a part of the Discord, come check out the Discord. Feedback is always appreciated. There's all kinds of interesting stuff going on. Here we go. Starting to get those buttons there. Sleep? What's that? Sleep.
Well, hopefully I can get some.
I'm going to try and get some. Don't get me wrong.
I know I'll get some. Just a matter of when I'll wake up tomorrow. Power or not.
Well, it's like I think I'm going to definitely log off of all the computers Thursday afternoon. And just be not touching a single computer. That way I can get up early Friday morning and make sure I'm ready to go. But yeah. So yeah, we're got our little scroll here for all of our current subscribers, and I'm sure the list is going to keep growing, which is awesome. With that, we will wish you all a great night, a great week. See you here on Friday for what kind of conversations we'll have. Gonna try my best to be entertaining.
Don't kill him too quick.
Don't do it, people. But
I don't set out to kill anybody.
It just happens.
yeah, it just does.
Like the last time everyone died.
It's not my fault.
It's not the fault of the scuba, but maybe it was.
What do you expect?
It's not my fault.
Did you do that?
Get all the nat ones out of the way, guys.
Mm-hmm.
What you talking about?
Pick up some of that merch. It'll help in the
What you talking about, Scuba?
Oh yeah. Please check out the merch store.
Go
if you-
buy it.
If you like that art, if you like that artwork, one of the things I got my new piece of merch. It is a big XXL gaming mouse pad, 18 by 36 inches of wonderful soft goodness. It's definitely cheaper than what you'd find if you wanted to go get one of those other XXL game pads. But yeah, any support for the merch is awesome. And with that, you guys have a great night. Have a great week. Love each other. Wear your mask. Stay safe. And we will catch you on the next stream, which is in a couple of days and a few hours.
Peace.
Bye-bye. Later, guys.
Of course, I'm doing that. Last reminder, that's coming.
Very much so.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Where shadows reign and darkness follows. Ooh.
Spoopy.
Cold. That's what it'll be. It'll be cold.